As we age, the body's ability to bounce back from stress, be it emotional, metabolic, or molecular, starts to wane. This isn't just about feeling sore after a workout or taking longer to recover from illness. On a microscopic level, cells lose their resilience. They become slower to repair DNA damage, less efficient at cleaning up oxidative junk, and more prone to slipping into dysfunction or permanent senescence after even mild stressors. It's not the damage itself that defines aging, but the failure to recover from it. That's where natural compounds come in, and lately, one in particular has sparked interest not just for its psychedelic effects, but for its surprising cellular durability: psilocybin. Traditionally celebrated for its mind-expanding properties and mental health potential, psilocybin is now entering the conversation as a possible cellular resilience enhancer. Once metabolized into psilocin, the compound interacts primarily with 5-HT2A serotonin receptors, triggering a cascade of biochemical events. While these receptors are best known for their role in perception and mood, they also influence how cells respond to damage, especially in tissues vulnerable to aging like the brain, liver, and immune system. Emerging studies have found that psilocybin-treated neural cells show improved responses to oxidative stress, a major driver of cellular aging. When exposed to reactive oxygen species, ROS, these cells produce fewer pro-inflammatory markers, maintain mitochondrial function more effectively, and exhibit greater resistance to apoptosis, the process of programmed cell death. That's a big deal. In aged tissues, the balance between survival and self-destruction often tips too easily toward degeneration. Psilocybin seems to restore that balance, allowing cells to weather stress without collapsing into dysfunction. There's also evidence that psilocybin may enhance DNA repair capacity. In response to UV or toxin-induced DNA damage, cells treated with psilocin show upregulation of repair enzymes and checkpoint regulators, molecules that assess damage and coordinate repair or recovery. This doesn't mean psilocybin is fixing mutations directly, but it appears to prime the cell's stress response systems, a sort of preemptive tuning that prepares cells to respond faster and more effectively when damage does occur. In young organisms, this kind of resilience is taken for granted. In older ones, it's often the difference between regeneration and irreversible decline. What makes psilocybin especially interesting is its ability to promote this resilience without triggering chronic stress pathways. Many compounds that boost cellular defenses do so by stressing the system just enough to provoke a hormetic response, think fasting, exercise, or mild toxins. Psilocybin seems to act more like a coordinator than a stressor, helping the cell realign its internal systems, boosting antioxidant defenses, stabilizing mitochondrial dynamics, and fine-tuning inflammatory signaling, without necessarily adding more damage to the pile. It's a smarter kind of signal, one that says, prepare instead of panic. This ability to support recovery after cellular stress has broad implications for aging tissues. In the brain, it may help prevent or slow neurodegeneration by allowing neurons to survive longer in the face of metabolic and inflammatory insults. In the cardiovascular system, it could reduce endothelial dysfunction, the precursor to atherosclerosis. In the skin and immune system, it may promote healthier regeneration, reducing the likelihood of fibrosis, immune fatigue, or chronic inflammation. Even more intriguingly, psilocybin's psychological effects could reinforce its cellular benefits. Mental stress and trauma accelerate biological aging, in part because they raise cortisol and inflammatory cytokines that damage cells over time. By reducing anxiety and depression, psilocybin could lower the background noise of stress that primes tissues for failure, giving the body's repair systems a quieter stage on which to work. In this light, psilocybin begins to look less like a psychedelic outlier and more like a natural resilience compound, one that improves not just how we feel, but how we recover. Its strength isn't in shielding us from damage entirely, but in helping our systems bounce back faster, cleaner, and more completely. That, arguably, is the very essence of healthy aging. So while it may never sit next to sunscreen or vitamin D in your grandma's medicine cabinet, psilocybin is earning its place in the expanding toolkit of natural compounds that promote longevity through recovery, not just protection. In the end, it's not about avoiding all stress. It's about teaching your cells how to come back stronger when it hits.